There we
All
go.
right,
All right, part two.
into our country. What are we going to do with all this money from these tariffs, bro? Prosperous again, right? Prosperity. Wouldn't anybody want that, right? Especially right now.
Well, money from the terrorists, money from the savings from cleaning out all the fraud and abuse.
hmm
Money that was being stolen from the tax dollars under false
Yeah.
pretenses, sent to NGOs, and funding the people who wanted to tear our country down.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
that doesn't anger you. I don't know what does.
Yeah.
But now they're crying. They're all crying like little, spoiled 2-year-olds. Well, cry all you want. We're not stopping. We're,
Yeah.
and
Right.
indictments are coming. Indictments are coming. And you know what the best thing I like about alligators, by the way? Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Alligators work for free. Uh, they don't take a lunch break. They don't require benefits. They don't call off sick. They don't complain to the boss. They don't run to HR every time their feelings get hurt. They do. They're naturally set for the job. I mean, they're naturally good at the job that they do. I mean, the best employees ever to guard a detention center. I'm just saying. And all of these people that have been causing the crime and the havoc in South Chicago, causing the rioting and attacking of our officers in LA and all these other places. Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah, the law of diminishing returns, right?
hmm
You
Yep.
there are consequences for actions. So there you go. Just
Yep.
thought I'd throw
Yep.
that in there. Just a side note there.
Yeah, it's a side note, huh? Throw a side note there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those are great points. And for those that don't know, Alligator Alcatraz, well, they want to call it a concentration camp. Of course, the media does, all those. But what it is basically a detention center for illegal immigration, for illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
And
they're
that's
not.
based up in Florida.
Yeah, they're no Nazi concentration camps in the United States. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah,
temporary holding facility until they
yeah,
can be deported. That's all.
yeah. But as you can see, and I have it up as MSNBC, the media wants to portray it as a concentration camp.
Oh, the CIA.
It's no different
You,
than
you talking about?
Hitler
Hey, whoa,
and
whoa, whoa,
camp.
whoa, 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 whoa! You talking about the CIA employees there?
Yeah, right?
The Tavistock Institute trained CIA operatives that are
Right,
protecting the
right.
borders. Okay, yeah, those guys. Okay, I just wanted to clarify who they were. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as described here, it says, and I'm gonna read Wikipedia's. Wikipedia is not always 100%. Um, I forgot my word. 100% accurate. There we go. But Alligator Alcatraz is an immigration detention facility erected at the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport inside Big Cypress National Preserve in Okoopee, think that's the way you pronounce it, Florida, announced in June 2025 by Attorney General James Sutmeyer and championed by Governor Ron DeSantis. You got to give that guy an applause. That guy's running his state the way it should be run. Scum. I was gonna say, new scum. Take note. But yeah, they're whining and crying about this, brother. But I mean, this is the measures that we have to take in order for us to cut down on illegal immigration.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, do you want to see some wine and go back to my X page?
Let's go
We'll have,
back to
we'll
the
have
X
some fun
page.
with this one.
Hey, this is a good one. Wait, before we go to the one you were talking about, Trump hates illegal immigrant, right? Migrant workers. Look at this. After their ceremony, brand new U.S. citizens receive a message from President Trump.
Yeah, play that one. This is really good. This is a side of Trump nobody ever gets to hear.
Let's see how much he hates,
Oh
immigrants, brother.
yeah, 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 yeah. Hitler here. Yeah,
Meeting
there we
this
go.
is
Oh,
Congratulations.
there
You
we go. Let
received
me
one of
rewind that.
You want some volume on it? Yeah, it's
this
kind of
Yeah.
in
is
the background.
congratulations. Today you receive one of the most priceless gifts ever granted by human hands. You become a citizen of the United States of America. What an honor. It is with great pride and wisdom in so many different ways because you have such great wisdom that I welcome you into our national family. No matter where
Yep.
you come from, you now share a home and a heritage with some of the most exceptional heroes, legends, and patriots to ever walk the face of the earth. All of the triumphs and glories of American history now belong
I
to
love
you.
it.
You have it in your being. You have it like nobody's had it before. With this sacred honor comes the highest responsibility. As you know, the American way of life is unique
Hmm.
in all the world, and as Americans, we must fiercely guard it and defend it. In this country, we believe in hard work and merit system and equality of opportunity. We believe in self-government and the fair and equal and impartial rule of law. And we cherish our liberty and our God-given rights to free speech, free exercise of religion, and the right to
Mm.
keep and bear arms. This special American culture is now yours to preserve. Your freedoms are now yours to protect. Our entire nation is now yours to love and to help build, and we trust that you will do a fantastic job and make us very, very proud. Congratulations once again. God bless you, and God bless America.
There was gonna be
Oh,
applause there,
wait
but
a minute, wait a minute, bro. That can't be right. I mean, he didn't have a little mustache. He wasn't speaking German.
yeah, yeah, he
Wasn't
didn't do the salute,
he
right?
wasn't
Yeah.
doing the salute, and he wasn't pounding his fist on the desk. No, come on.
Bro, he's just this terrible, terrible individual that
Yeah.
hates people, man, and especially his, immigrants. Oh, hates them so much.
I mean, what a great introduction to the country with a little speech like that. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
you said it so well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you want to get,
absolutely.
yeah, not to get it. Oh, did you have something you want to say on that?
No, 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 no. No, I was just agreeing. Absolutely. What a
To
way
get a
to
to get
be
an
received.
opposite perspective, let's move up to the lady, the no, keep going up. Let's see if we can find her. Keep going up. I think it's up. Yeah, right here. Now,
Okay.
this lady, here's what we'll do. We'll play what she
Okay.
has to say and then read what I wrote.
Okay. Let's do this. And let's rewind that. Let's give it volume. Oh, there it is. Here we go.
Nice. Here we are.
Let me unpause that. Okay,
Neat.
good. Good to go.
She got muted.
It's 4th of July weekend. There's so much to celebrate, right? No, there really isn't, because the truth of the matter is the freedom and independence that the 4th of July holiday is supposed to
Hmm.
represent never included all Americans or all people in
Interesting.
America, right? So back in 1776, Black folks were still enslaved. So that's not anything to celebrate. So what I want to challenge you to do this weekend, and you should really do this every single day if you want to live an anti-racist lifestyle, but specifically for this weekend, instead of spending all your money on the red, white, and blue everything, ask yourself, where am I benefiting from the labor of Black people, and what am I giving to them in return? Whether it's free labor, unpaid labor like social media, or whether it's inequitable paid labor. Where are you benefiting from labor from us, and what are you giving in return? Usually, if it's for social media, we give you specific directions on what to do after you consume our content. So do that today.
Wow.
It's 4th of July
Can I
weekend.
say she is nuts? Anywho, this is what my brother wrote down when he reposted this video. The brain says, this lady is pushing white guilt like a drug dealer pushes drugs. If 1776 never happened, the foundation for the freedom granted to slaves would have never been built. That is so true. There would have never been the Emancipation Proclamation and the Civil Rights Movement. The African tribes that sold slaves to slave ships would still be legally selling slaves today, and slavery will still be an open market, not an underground illegal activity. Because of 1776, this lady is free and has free speech rights. You're absolutely 100% right, my brother. If it wasn't for 1776, The idea of freedom would never existed to begin with. So, this young lady, as passionate as she seems for the rights of, being an African, well, she calls herself African American. I'm sure she was born in the United States, Black American, I should call her. Yeah, it's a no-go. Sorry. And not only that, work in social media, you sell your content. Last time I heard anybody has freedom to either follow your content or say no to your content and not give any money to your content. So there is no
But brother,
payback for that.
if you don't do exactly as she says, you're a racist.
Bro, I'm what's called an equal opportunist racist. I racist against every race, even mine. More mine, actually. No, I mean,
Do you see the mind control technique here?
absolutely, brother. And not only that, I bet this young lady received all that instruction, or she was indoctrinated in this regard from her school, from her either college, university. That mentality was already there, right? She
Right.
just happened to be able to share it because of, whatever she is doing now that she's able to speak about this and encourage this. But no, I'm sorry, the young lady has it wrong. 1776 created the opportunity for the freedom of slavery,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And they do. I mean, one of my responses to these folks now is, oh, you must be a college graduate.
Yeah, right, right.
It's
Yep.
not meant as a compliment. It's meant as an insult
Hmm.
because in other words, oh, you had 4 extra years of indoctrination, so you've been completely washed in the woke what I call it wokeocrat
Well, I like that.
wokeocrat way of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are Democrats, there are Republicans, there are independents, there are libertarians,
Hmm.
and there are wokeocrats.
Yeah.
And a wokeocrat can, transcend across all the different parties.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, folks, you gotta always know your history, know exactly what transpired because unfortunately, a lot of these newer graduates are, and who knows? I don't know if this young lady just recently graduated, but that mentality is there, bro. Wokeism is huge right now in universities and all that. In spite of, getting rid of a lot of the stuff, education still indoctrinating people into believing that socialism, communism, and wokeism is the way to live life. When
Yeah.
it is not, it goes completely against the freedoms that we have in our country.
Yeah, well, we us illegal my ancestors apparently were illegal immigrants to this land because my ancestors came over
That's right, bro.
they came over in the 1600s. So apparently they were illegal immigrants to the land because the Native Americans already were here when we came over. It's a dumb argument. What law did they break? I don't know, there wasn't any. What na
Hey, wait, brother.
what national boundary did they cross? There wasn't any. There was no national boundary.
Mm,
There were no immigration laws at the time that my ancestors came over. There was nothing. There was just nomads roaming the land, and they had not established any kind of a nation. They were nomads roaming this land.
mm,
And they
mm.
were attacking each other, and they were enslaving each other.
Yep,
And and they were, I mean, and they were not claiming territory.
right.
And so, what law did my ancestors break?
But wait, bro. But then you came south, where my country, Mexico, where we lost the warfare. Wait, fair and square. Oh, we lost the war.
You
Oh,
lost
wait.
more and sold.
And then I ended up selling my territory. Wait a minute.
Right, right.
Ah, crap.
So America is not white anymore. It's not about being white. America is about being someone here who supports the Constitution, and it doesn't matter your ethnicity. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, yellow, red, or a green Martian. I don't care. It's about supporting the country. It's about supporting the boundaries, saying, hey, you have to be an American citizen and you need to support the basic freedoms that are granted to citizens in this country. It's really that simple. It doesn't matter your skin
Hmm.
color. And then people bring up the argument about don't, God telling Israel, don't mistreat the strangers in the land, right? Have you seen
Yeah,
an argument
right.
with Leviticus? Of course, people who don't know anything about the Bible love to pick and choose verses out of the Bible to push their political agenda,
Hmm.
and they don't understand the scriptures. That those strangers in the land, guess what they had to do? They had to legally immigrate to Israel, and they had to go through an immigration process to be a part of Israel to become a stranger in the land. Anyone that was in Israel that did not follow that immigration process, baptism, sacrificing like a turtle dove, a certain at the altar, and circumcision. That was what they had to do to say, "Hey, we're going to be here. We're going to worship the God that you worship, and we're going to be a part of this that you're doing. We want to be proselyte Jews." That's what they had to do
Mm.
in order to be accepted in Israel. If they did not do that, Israel would go to war with them and kill them
Yeah,
and get them out. And so what's difference what is different between that and what we're doing today? There's no difference. So that
yeah,
argument is stupid. I mean, it's just where do they come up with these dumb arguments because they don't think it through?
yeah. Absolutely right, brother. But like you said, they only take those verses that support their agenda, what they're trying to say, and ignore the rest of the context, ignore everything else, the audience relevance, the culture that they was dealing with, etc., etc., etc. Wait, we can't apply the context. Why? I'm just gonna take whatever fits my argument and use that, especially against Christians, right? How many of this stuff is used against Christians? Completely taken out of context, just whatever benefits that argument without even considering the rest of the context, the rest of the chapter, the verses before or after. Mm,
Right.
that's the world we live in, brother.
Yeah, they really go after Christians, try to use the Bible against Christians, and they mishandle the Bible
Hmm. Oh
doing
yeah,
so, and they don't even understand what they're quoting. So I mean, it's
yeah. No, absolutely, brother.
how do you like that meme?
That's funny. That's funny. What is it? What is the gentleman's name? I forget.
Jeffries, I don't want to mess up his first name. I can't think of it. Akram
Oh,
Jeffries.
okay.
Yeah,
So it's a meme, folks, of the gentleman speaking at the most recent Senate meeting that they had, and you have the old Chris Farley character. What is it? A van down by the river,
yeah, yeah.
screaming at him as he's giving his speech. Which, by the way, did I
Six
hear
hours
right?
long,
6 or 8 hours long.
6 or 8 hours long. People were falling
Oh,
asleep
okay.
behind him.
Well, anyways, it's Chris Farley screaming at him, says, "For the love of God, shut up!"
And he's up in his face. It's like
Up in his face, bro.
a great meme of Chris Farley. He's
Yep.
hilarious.
How in the world can one go 6 to 8 hours? Did you see what Speaker Johnson did as he was about to give
Yeah,
his
he
speech?
brought out
He
that big
brings out that big
binder.
old binder and drops it.
Oh, that
Oh
was
my
awesome.
goodness.
And they said, just kidding.
Bro, why? Oh, why? Yeah, no, exactly. It was funny, very funny. But anywho, why? Why six? Everybody was saying it was like a mediocre Obama giving a
Well,
speech.
You know, I couldn't listen to his speech because all I kept hearing was Charlie Brown's teacher.
Yeah, how's it
Wah, wah, wah,
go?
wah, 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 wah,
Yeah, yeah,
wah,
yeah,
wah,
yeah.
wah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway,
Now I gotta find a video of his speech, and I'm gonna mount the Charlie Brown's teacher on top of
yeah.
that, so all you can hear is that. That's what I gotta do now.
Uh,
Woo. But hey, this is what the Democrats do to try to save face, to try to delay things, to try to cause distractions. You know how they do, bro.
Yeah.
There's a strategy
That's
on their
all. It's
side.
all theater and all show.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and the
right.
tears, a lot of times the tears are theater too, you know.
Oh yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah.
It's like Academy performances, right?
Uh,
Anything else you want to cover in your X
yeah, the
account?
fact that Congress can lie to you.
Woo! What do we have here?
Yeah, it's
We
2 minutes,
got
25
this
minutes.
is Massey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Massey. Which by the way, he's a believer, right?
I don't know much about him.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. But this one, he has an interesting comment here.
That might be a death threat, huh?
You can, but I can't. So maybe I should say it. There's something in the Constitution called the speech or debate clause. And so I can go to the floor of the House of Representatives and lie. I can tell every lie I want, and nobody can do anything about it. And it's called the speech or debate clause. Our staff, look this up.
The speech or debate clause found in Article 1, Section 6 of the U.S. Constitution protects members of Congress from being questioned in any other place for their speech or debate in either house. So let me read it again. Protects members of Congress from being questioned in any other place.
Which means you can't be questioned in a courtroom. You can't be sued.
No way.
You can't be. Now read the next sentence though, because there's a good reason for it.
This clause, rooted in historical struggles for parliamentary independence, aims to safeguard the independence and integrity of the legislative branch by preventing interference from the executive or judicial branches.
So, so when people, even our founders, this is a hard pill to swallow.
Okay.
But
I'm still a bit confused at this moment.
Well, even our founders thought that there were some laws that shouldn't apply to congressmen because if they did, they would get abused. And like a Democrat president would arrest members of Congress for saying things on the floor of the House. Because that's what the king did back in England. The king would arrest members of parliament if he didn't like what they said.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Or you could get a private individual to sue a member of Congress for something they said. And then that would basically freeze the debate, and members of Congress would be afraid to speak. They would send their speeches to lawyers before they said them, if this didn't exist.
I see what you're saying.
So this is kind of a fascinating little part of our Constitution. And even though it seems wrong to give members of Congress extra First Amendment protection, the founders thought this was the best way to do it.
So you could go to court right now and lie on the stand?
No. I can lie about anything, but I got to be on the floor of the House. Or it has to be attached to my official business. So I'm probably covered on social media. And I could just say defamatory things about you. I could release national secrets. And this also covers my staff as well.
God, interesting.
So that could either be a good or a bad thing, right?
Depends on how you
Because you can say anything disparaging right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're in the house, right? As long as you're in business, performing
that's why you
business.
need people of moral character in Congress, is because things like that.
Yes,
They consider-
absolutely, brother. You just said it. That's why they keep pushing for people of moral character to be represented. Why? Because of that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Yeah. I don't think did I ever know that? I knew they had protections, but I didn't quite know exactly the extent of it. But now that he read that, wow. And I can see why, because back then, you could easily be thrown in jail for anything you would say, right?
Right.
That was disparaging to members of Congress or again, like he said, the king. Then you'd be tossed in jail, whooped or something. Goodness gracious.
Well, let's do a couple more. Tom Fenton and do Christine Hawkins. How about something positive here?
Yeah, let's do it.
No, go up. You missed it. Tom Fenton and then Christine Hawkins right below him.
Okay, let's do it.
Go.
This is Tom Fenton.
Yeah.
Well, here we are in Washington, D.C., where they just passed the one big, beautiful bill, which is good news for those of us, like virtually everyone, who still want to see their taxes go up. But now that that's out of the way, I want to see one big, beautiful grand jury investigation and other criminal prosecutions of the lawfare against President Trump. We're now 6 months into 2025. We've got to get it going. And of course, Judicial Watch has its own independent investigations. But Congress and the Justice Department and the FBI, or a separate entity, need to get going to uncover the terrible corruption that nearly destroyed our republic, the effort to get Trump and abuse Americans under the color of law.
Well,
here we are in Washington.
So there you go. So I believe the indictments are coming, and I think Alligator Alcatraz might be for more than just detention center for deportations. I think
good point.
now remember, before we go here, Governor of Florida brought in the National Guard, the JAG, if you will, judges, military judges, to process these deportations faster. What else can military judges be used for? Tribunals for treason.
Yeah.
I think that's next.
Interesting. A very interesting take on that. Yep.
Christine Hawkins, this is very good.
Let me read what she says before I play. It says, after 18 years of fighting, Congress has just told Planned Parenthood to go fund themselves. That's a funny way of putting it.
I love the way she put that.
Oh, that was great. That was a play on words right there. Here we go.
We did it. For 18 years. We did it. I'm on the hillside, and it's raining. But we did it, guys. You guys worked so hard to make this moment happen. And I know it's not everything we want. It's only defunding Planned Parenthood for 1 year, and it's about 80% of their federal funds. So about $500 million they just lost. They just lost. I watched on live TV as Planned Parenthood, nation's largest abortion vendor, lost $500 million. Watch out, mountain biker coming. We still have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. There's going to be a second budget bill coming up soon. We need to argue hard that now that we've done it, now that we've finally proven it to the GOP that we can defund Planned Parenthood, now they must, for the maximum amount of time, defund Planned Parenthood. And I can't tell you, it's hard to even explain how much work has gone into this moment, how much donor money has gone into this moment, how much of your time, how many arguments you've probably gotten into on campuses about this. And now it's going to get harder because as we return to
yeah, we'll cut it there. It's 8 minutes long. We need to move on to some other stuff. But the fact that, I mean, you can hear in her voice the relief of all of that pressure trying to get that done.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing. That is absolutely huge. That might, I think that's as big as reversing Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, I agree. It's huge. It's that big. Absolutely, brother.
Let's move down to Wall Street apes real quick. We'll do rapid fire here.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me when you see it.
Right there. Nope. Up. That's next. Up.
Right there. Wall
Right
Street
there.
apes. Okay.
It's a minute 48. There you go.
There we go.
So as somebody that grew up on government assistance and food stamps, I'm not mad at Trump at all for cutting some of the government benefits that they're giving out, because y'all, let's not act as if people aren't abusing this. Let's not act as if we ain't got an epidemic of people who just don't want to go to work because they expect the government to take care of them. I saw two people on TikTok the other day arguing, and it was a man and a woman, and the man wanted to go to work. The woman was mad at him, yelling at him, would not let him go to work because of the fact if they found out about his income, she would lose her government-funded housing and she would lose her benefits. And she would not let the man go to work because she didn't want to lose that. And I think that's an issue in America, bro. Like, there's a lot of people that do that. Y'all, if Trump is opening up more jobs, then you should want to get up and go work and not have to depend on the government. The government assistance is a stepping stone to help you get to a point to where you can get back on your feet and do for yourself and take care of yourself. That's what it's about. It's not about, oh, we'll just sit back and let people who go out and work, take care of me so I can live an easy life because I need to live an easy life for whatever reason, bro. All of us have to get up and work. White people, black people, Mexicans, everybody got to get up and work. Nobody is owed anything by the government. Nobody is owed anything.
Yeah.
So we'll cut it here. We need to do a little bit more, brother, just a little bit more. So you want to come back after, where are we? Oh, we're at 9. Oh,
We're at 9.
I thought we were down to seconds left. Okay.
Oh, no. We're at 9. 9 minutes. Yeah.
This is why I need new glasses. Go ahead.
No, you know what? This hits home for me, brother.
Yeah.
When we moved to San Diego, my dad, his yearly income was $13,000, brother. This is back in 1988. We lived in a one-bedroom apartment. My sisters and I, younger sisters at the time, one was like a month old and the other one was 3 years old, 4, 5, I can't remember. Anywho, we live and somebody encouraged my dad, hey, why don't you get some assistance? You're a very low income. Even at 13,000, brother, we were considered not low income. We did not receive any extra benefit. Did that bring my father down and try to quit so he can get government assistance? No. He said, I'm going to work. I'm going to go work another job if I have to. They didn't stop him from earning. And you know what, brother? We still live comfortably. So what? 3 of us living in a living room, kids, we don't care. But it hits home because at that time we knew of families that were doing that, brother. They would actually literally do whatever it took, lie, so that they can get the benefits and live with those benefits and not lose them. And it's admirable that somebody comes, on a camera, put themselves on camera and say, hey, no, this is actually a good thing. Get rid of abuse. Get rid of people that really can actually go and work. Get a job. Work hard.
Right.
If there's one thing my father left us, in his legacy, was that he was a hard worker. And he said, you will work your butt off to gain. Not only that, it's a biblical thing. Work and work hard. I said, I don't care if you're missing an arm, a leg, go work. Go work and put your best effort. Because you know what? Ultimately, as Christians, you're glorifying God. The world is going to do what the world does. But for us Christians, go work. Don't lie.
The Bible,
these were Christians that were lying, brother, to obtain that government assistance.
the Bible says if a man does not work, he shall not eat. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't help those who are incapable of working. There is a provision for that in Scripture as well. For those who are older and they can't get jobs because they're older, there is age discrimination, and maybe they have medical issues. Those who are younger and have medical issues, they can't work. We understand that. But those who are able-bodied and just are lazy, they're just lazy and they don't want to work and they just want to suck off of mother government and just make the burden on the backs of taxpayers even more burdensome. They need to get up and go to work and stop whining like little 2-year-old children.
Yeah.
All right, let's move down. This next one will send chills down your spine.
Will take office as the 19th President of the United States on March 4th under the restored republic. Let me explain. You believe you live in a nation called United States of America. This nation hasn't existed since 1871, when this country ceased to be a nation and became a corporation belonging to the City of London. Every time you see an American flag with a gold fringe and gold tilt attached to it, it represents the corporation, not the country.
Wow.
This is the reason you can never make progress financially. This is why the law always seems to be against the average citizen, while the rich and the elite literally get away with murder and worse things. If Biden, Harris, Pence, Pelosi, etc. are arrested for their crimes before January 20th, there will be no one to assume the presidency. Since Trump has not been certified as the presidential winner by Congress, he cannot remain president. If there is no president on January 20th, the corporation known as the United States of America will be dissolved.
What?
The military will then become the guardians of the nation during the transition. People will then have irrefutable proof that the election was stolen by foreign entities, and that Trump was chosen by a landslide. Trump then assumes the presidency as the 19th president of the United States. The last president elected before America became a corporation was Ulysses S. Grant, Republic Restored. Now, I really don't know all the details involved in this. Just know the end goal has always been the destruction of the 1871 corporation and the return of America to the people of a constitutional republic it was always intended to be. The next month and a half will be chaotic. Make sure you have plenty of water, food, your meds, anything else you need. Comply with the National Guard and United States Marine Corps. They took oath to the nation, not the corporation. The Act of 1871. Be vigilant. Pray. Your nation has returned to you. I just want to say I'm Canadian, and I could not be more proud of all of you and everything you're doing to literally save the world. You Americans, MAGA, you have shown everyone how to do it. You set an example and you lit the world on fire. You're salt of the earth, and I love you. God bless America.
What was that, brother?
Well, see, here's the problem. Americans don't know their history.
Yeah.
In 1871, the Corporation of America was formed.
Mm.
And it was a hostile takeover of the country. 1913 was a result of 1871, which was a further hostile takeover of the country.
That's right.
The Federal Reserve is not constitutional. It should not even exist. But this was a corporate takeover of the United States. And the United States became a corporation, and it left its original design by the founders.
Right.
What people don't understand, and reason people are confused and angry and all worked up, is because they don't understand that what's happening, especially with the call out of the military, is that we are taking our country back from those who took it away from us in 1871. They were hostile insurgents that took our country away from us, and we're taking it back away from them. So it is legal for the military to come out because they are fighting an enemy that is domestic, that did a hostile takeover of our country. The last legitimate United States president before the corporation was Grant, Ulysses S. Grant. Now that we are kicking the corporation out and reestablishing the original nation, Trump becomes the 19th president of the United States after Ulysses S. Grant. All the other presidents in between those two were corporation presidents.
Yep.
They worked for the corporation. That's why the deep state was so strong. That's why presidents were told what to do by the deep state.
Yeah.
That's how the CIA got so strong, how the bureaucracy became so strong. It was corporate. And so, yes, the idea is to crash the economy. It's to crash the Federal Reserve economy. But there's a parallel economy occurring right now. There's the economy of the United States, and there's the economy of the corporation. The economy of the corporation is crashing, and that's why you see the wokeocrats and the corporate politicians screaming bloody murder, because their corporation is dying, it's crashing. And that's why you see the people excited, because we're regaining our Constitution.